Hello everyone and welcome to today's cryptocurrency update for Friday the 5th August 2022. Welcome and let's have a look at the charts. I'm going to review the short-term and the longer-term charts so we get a great idea of the bigger picture and to put the smaller scribbles into better perspective, because it's very easy to get lost in all these smaller scribbles to understand what do they mean in the bigger picture. And remember, big gains come from big time frames. Small gains come from small time frames. Very simple. If you trade something for 2 minutes, there won't be 1,000% gain. If you trade something for 2 years or 2 decades, especially in crypto world, there can be 1,000% gain. So please keep that in mind. Now, again, also, it doesn't mean everybody has to trade for 2 years or 2 decades, because some people do want to trade for 2 minutes, and that's what makes a market. It's all good. Nothing is worse than doing a trade that you are not comfortable with, because some people can easily set it and forget it, so to say, and other people can't. They want to micromanage their positions. It's all good. That's what makes a market. And don't feel bad for being a hodler or for being a day trader. There's a flavor for everyone, and there's not one size that fits everything. That's, of course, in Jesse Livermore's trading rules. Please read all the household items. They're there for you to profit from, and be realistic. Always have realistic expectations. Always. I cannot hammer it home often enough. Nobody can be right all the time. Everybody is wrong and makes errors sometimes. That doesn't mean we have to hammer down those mistakes months after the fact. Okay, that's not what we do to our loved ones either. It's water under the bridge. We move on. We go to the next thing. Okay, we can't keep reminding folks of the mistakes they made many months ago. That's just not the way it works. That's quite a effed up life. So please be aware of that we're trying to assess everything with the price data available, but the market is stochastic, dynamic, and fluid and ever changing. So things do sometimes turn out to be wrong, and that's okay, and we move on. So here's the bigger picture chart for Bitcoin. This is my preferred wave count with either a 4-5-4-5 setup or all of a 5 and then lights out for Bitcoin for a long time. To be determined which of the two it is. I remain still bullish on Bitcoin for the long term. Nothing has been proven to say that Bitcoin is done. With that in mind, let's have a look at Avalanche. All right, it's been not many days since I did my last update. And again, I still believe this is the preferred shorter term path. Remember, short term is, of course, much more variable than the long term. Shorter term, you can have these updates that you don't anticipate, or if you anticipate them, they can be larger or smaller than anticipated. So all we do is anticipate, we monitor, we adjust. So I still like this leading diagonal wave 1 or A. Don't know yet if it's only a ABC bounce or the start of a new bull market. Bigger picture wise, I do prefer the larger bull market. This is the bigger picture monthly chart of Avalanche. We had a nice here actually diagonal pattern. And as you can see, we retraced this entire diagonal pattern. This was the preferred path I was looking for. The wedge type pattern is developing, and once complete, expect price to move back to about $13. And what did we get? If we go to the monthly chart or the daily chart, about $15. Very, very close. Okay, somewhere around there in May. Very, very close. This is a technical pattern. This is a bearish pattern. Note the log time frame. And now we need to break back above $60. $60 was the hold level for the bulls to turn this into a more extended wave 5 of 1. And that didn't happen. And then we got the symmetrical breakdown. Remember, please, that this is, of course, a log scale. So we went from 120 to 60. And then we went from 60 to 50. So it fits very, very nicely. Once primary 2 is complete, I don't have confirmation for it yet. We can start looking for primary 3, 4, and 5. Again, looks very good on the monthly time frame. Downside target achieved. This was already put in place. The downside target of around $30 in March. So no surprises whatsoever. Let's go to Binance Coin. I like it here that we have upside surprises. Still looks better like a, I would say, expanding leading diagonal. Again, diagonals are a little bit tricky, and we can have a larger subdivision on our hands. And that is something that Ryan Wildey, I believe his name is, posted the other day here. for BNB, where he believes that we could be a 3, 4, and a 5 all the way to 440s. So far, so good. That will require, once again, a break above 340. And that will then place us in a subdivision that I don't necessarily have on the charts just yet. So then we have a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup, and then 3, 4, 5. Okay, that is still very possible, but it requires a breakout above 340. And then I think we can start targeting these higher levels. So far, there's nothing bearish about Binance or BNB, Binance Coin, other than that we now must hold at around 270. That was last Tuesday's low, 272, I believe the exact number was. Everything looks good. I remain bullish on Binance Coin. We have a technical breakout above this blue downtrend line that has held old price in check. So that's good. Bigger picture wise, I said here, Binance Coin needs to hold 205. It did so on a closing basis. Okay, yes, we went all the way down to 170s, but on a monthly closing basis, this is a monthly time frame chart, we held 205, and we're right back here to the spring 2022 lows, which is a major 4 low. So this should then be a primary 4 low, an A, a B, and a C so far. And the current rally almost starts to overlap with wave A, which makes it almost impossible to have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup to the downside. Okay, as you can see here, we're starting to overlap with this wave A low here. So this is good, wave A, wave B. I like it. Now we need to start breaking above the 450 level. As you can see here, that's the B wave. And then we should be at the minimum challenging the all-time highs, because we can have an A here for a larger flat, a B here, and then a C wave. Okay. I like also the way the forecasted MACD is setting up. I was forecasting a drop and then a higher high, as you can see here. Let me move that text box here like this. This is what I was looking for. It's definitely more pronounced, of course, than I was looking for, but that is what you anticipate, and then it will eventually work out. So I think on a monthly time frame, if we get the primary 5 as anticipated, we won't get a buy signal on the MACD, then we get this negative divergence going on here, and that'd be very indicative of a much larger top. I'm also looking for that negative divergence on the money flow. Note how oversold things have gotten. As you can see here, very oversold. So the bounce that we're currently experiencing is no surprise. We've reached the target zone for this ideal wave 4. Nothing out of the ordinary. I see nothing that warns me yet that there will be no more wave 5 to potentially in the 1000. But we have to track it diligently. The short term, we're just not really there yet. So please keep that in mind. But I think the next larger pullback could be an excellent buying opportunity from a low risk perspective to set up for the next rally. How are we doing on Bitcoin? Bitcoin still on track here for this 3, 4, 5 setup. I see no reason to change my tune. On that one, we of course need to hold this 22,390 level. Okay, so far we went as low as 22,590. I do want to see Bitcoin continue to rally. So far, the rally is a little bit fizzling out on the daily time frame. So we'll have to let those daily scribbles work its way out. So here's the alternative wave count, as I showed you in the slides, that we only completed a major 4 since the 2018 low, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now a 5. That would complete cycle 3, cycle 4, cycle 5. And then alternatively, we already completed cycle 3. This was cycle 4, and then cycle 5. So both are bullish. The most bullish one has 2 larger bull legs to go. The least bullish has 1 larger bull leg to go. So 12,125 is the ideal. Blue C is a target. We can still reach it. Okay, I don't have confirmation yet on the short term that we have completed this black wave 4. As you can see, here's black wave 4. That is the wave count here. But it can also be purple cycle 4. Either way, that's what I am tracking. And why do I have both on the chart? I cannot know with 100% certainty which of the two it is. So once I think we reach the 100,000 plus, it's definitely time to become more cautious longer term, because you don't want to get caught on a super cycle wave thinking that we're still going to get another cycle wave. If we do, we'll catch that trend again. All right. So you want to catch this trend, you want to avoid this trend, you want to catch that trend. Okay. But if you want to catch that trend, you want to make sure you avoid, of course, the larger trend that's going to follow, pretty much brings Bitcoin back to zero. That's not what you want to do. At some point, you got to cash in chips. Even the long-term buyers and holders need to have an exit strategy to cash in the chips. Okay, so here again, as you can see here, this is the target zone for C4. We held it. We held 20,000 as support, which was the previous all-time high, so to say, for that primary three, potentially a cycle, whatever. No, so primary three wave, sorry about that. So we're holding it. It's good, but we can still go to 12,125 for a CSA relationship. Please keep that in mind. Crazy oversold. Okay, from a comparison perspective, we are, of course, equally oversold as we were in 2018, in December 2018. But we could maybe set up some positive divergence, so that would mean a lower low on Bitcoin. I cannot exclude 12,000 just yet, but we're right in the ideal longer-term buying zone. That's for sure. So again, if you want to go long for the long term, put some toes in the water. Don't throw everything in the kitchen sink at it, okay? Dip some toes in the water. See if it works for you. If not, make sure you have tight stops and you're out. If it works, then you can always add. Add to winners, all right? Get rid of losers. You don't add to losers. Never ever add to losers. You add to winners, okay? Most people think they're averaging down. It's great. It's a bad strategy because why would you want to add more to losers? Are you so certain that the trade is going to work out? You're already wrong in the first place. The trade's not working out. So why are you going to add more to a working out trade? Just cut it. Cut it, be done with it. You're not married to that position. You're not married to Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency or any stock. You're only married to your partner if you're married. God bless your heart, and stick with that. That's all you need to do. The rest, you just cut it short. All right. Make sure your portfolio survives every major drawdown. On $100,000 portfolio, most risk I take is $500. That's it, $500. All right. That's all I want to take in my trade. And if it goes well, I'll sell into strength and rinse, lather, repeat. It made me 25,000 almost last month. So it is very doable to take small risk and have high returns. Ethereum can still do this 3, 4, 5 potential, or we have an A, a B, and a C. Can't say it just yet. If we go below this week's low from current levels, then the 2/B pattern is underway. So we do want to hold this week's low at around 1580, I believe it is. So it can still be, if you look at my cursor, a B, and a C. So let me put that for you on the chart here. So we can still have this path. Now we have this path. And then we're going to get another C wave lower, something like this. It is very possible. Okay, it is very possible for it to happen. That, of course, requires a breakdown below this week's low, somewhere around there. So it's very simple if-then scenarios. Okay, if of course we break out, then we are in a much more direct path, I would believe, to this target zone. But let's first focus on a little bit marginally higher here as well. So those are the options we're looking at, right? We're tracking options with Elliott Wave. We don't slap just a preconceived notion label on it. This is wave 1 and this is wave 2, so we must get wave 3. No, you don't know if it's going to be an A, B, C instead, okay? So that's the beauty of the Elliott Wave. That's the true power of Elliott Wave, because then you know that after 3, supposedly comes 4 and 5, but only if we're holding certain levels. If we then drop below a certain price level, then we know the wave 5 is not going to come, and all we got was an A, a B, and a C. And then we just make sure we're going to exit our position or not enter a position or short a position, because we're not married to anything. So this is still, in that sense, early stages for a new bull. I like the fact that we have potential already 5 waves higher. So it starts to look good, but no full confirmation just yet. Early days, early days. Bigger picture-wise, same pretty much as Ethereum, Bitcoin, sorry. Though here I'm looking here for the major 4 and the major 5. Look how oversold we got here on the RSI 5 on a monthly time frame. These are monthly candles on a log scale. The log scale makes the waves pop out much, much better, because it really gives more weight to the lower prices. And as you can see here, this would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. So far still, and yet an ABC lower, not 5, ABC. You can clearly see ABC. But we need to see follow through. As you can see here, extremely oversold on levels that normally tell us that a bottom is much closer than a top. So to be determined if this is 4, or like Bitcoin, if this is already a larger cycle 4, depending on how we interpret things at the beginning of the chart. And again, Elliott Wave is an interpretation. Maytag, I like it. It's a very bullish chart. Look at what happened once we got the breakout. Again, that's the same as here with, if I go to Binance Coin, for example, right? We're starting to see that breakout happen above downtrend lines, and those are strong signs. So we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. This is my preferred path. I see no reason to change it unless we start to drop below 75 cents. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. This is the larger Elliott wave count I had for Polygon. I was looking for an ideal low at around 60 cents. Okay, that was the ideal low. It doesn't have to be ideal because we went apparently much lower. We got to as low as about 25 cents. So pardon my inaccuracy, but that's all we can go by initially. We say, okay, this is the initial downside target I'm going to look for based on standard patterns. Okay, because we had a ending diagonal wave 5 of 5 of 3 and a wave 4 here at around 60 cents. So that's logical for this next degree higher fourth wave to reach the 60 cents. It certainly did, but now it went a little bit lower. All right. That is where I always say you cannot get everything right. So we've surpassed the ideal wave 4 target, so that's fine. We move on. There we go. Doesn't mean one is wrong and therefore wrong with it. That's the anticipation. You have to set a certain anticipation. That's what you're going to look for. Was it reached? Absolutely, because we broke here. This was the warning level, 1.3. You break below it, you're going to go based on symmetry to 60 cents. It was reached. And then it decided to even drop further. Well, okay, so be it. That's something you cannot foresee. Right? You can foresee that the symmetrical breakdown will target that level. Then you're going to base it on Fibonacci retraces, Elliott wave patterns, all that good stuff. Bottom line is this was pretty much the target zone, and on a closing basis, not shabby at all. So I still like it. I still like this wave count, and we should now be in this wave 5. But again, shorter term, still waiting a little bit for a confirmation for an impulse higher. Once we get the 5 waves impulse higher, then the next 3 waves lower in whatever form and fashion they decide to materialize, because it's a correction, it can be a flat, a zigzag, or a triangle. That will be the longer term buying opportunity to catch this wave 5, with of course the notion that maybe my wave count is wrong and we set stops accordingly. Always. I'm wrong till proven right. The market is right and we are wrong till we have been proven right by the market. That's why we have stops. Why else would one have stops? Stops means that you're wrong. Okay, if we're always right, we don't need any stops. So this is Solana. Solana has a little bit more work to do. It's still struggling here in the cloud. The bears don't allow Solana to move above the cloud. We're holding the 39 level on a closing basis. It looks a little strugglishly, so to say, but we need to get above that cloud to then target 48 and above that 59. Don't see it just yet. We're holding the 50-day. That's about as good as it gets, but we're below the 10 and the 20-day. So longer term wise, I believe Solana has put in a much larger top, the cycle 1. So we have primary 1, primary 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. This is not log scale, and this shows you compared to, for example, Maytag here, which is a log scale, how much less these lower time frames pop out. I use down months as corrective price action. Up months are impulsive price actions. Can't capture every single wave degree, but definitely the larger ones. So we have an A, a B, and we should now be in this wave C, and the C wave can last for a long time. Support here is at around $20, clearly. If we break below $20, we're going to go to the single digits, okay? So we're still holding in that range, and that path and lower end target I've had for quite some time, but nothing yet to tell me that we have bottomed for wave C of cycle 2. I don't see it just yet. This could still be a corrective bounce within a larger downtrend, please remember we're below the 200-day moving average. So once eventually we have confirmation cycle 2 is completed, then cycle 3 will be the party. Okay, that will be great, but please be patient on this one. Then I wanted to point out Mara and Riot from what are other people seeing, and this is by trader Stewie. Please follow him, almost 400,000 followers. So either he's bought all his followers, but no, he knows his stuff. And Mara and Riot are on his radar. This guy doesn't miss a beat. Once or twice, we all do normally. But again, he has these two blockchain companies on the radar. Why? Because of the patterns that he sees developing, and also here massive accumulation he's pointing out. So big boys are buying, and big boys are big boys because they're hardly ever wrong. So he's watching Riot here for a breakout above, I believe it is around 810 to 815. Let's have a look at where Riot is currently. Riot is now sitting at 822. So we're still trying to break out, okay? Nothing just yet, but please keep in mind that this trader has it on his radar. He is seeing something. So that fits my Elliott Wave count. Mara, he's seeing the same deal here. We kind of need to break out above $14, okay? Mara is currently at 1405. Looks a little more constructive, okay? The trading system I use for Mara has it on a buy since I believe at around 12 bucks. So it's now at 14, so it is adding. So that's a good sign. But the bottom line here is that these two blockchain companies are on the radar of some very good traders that have very good pattern recognition skills and also apply volume to see if there's accumulation or distribution. Clearly, there is accumulation in these blockchain companies. That's good. That's long term. If these are the big institutions buying, this is long term stuff. This is not 15 minutes or 15 day or 15 week trading. This is long term. So it's good. Very, very good. And with that, I have talked plenty long enough for this Friday. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Please contact me if you have any questions. Again, longer term, I think everything looks still constructive. Shorter term, we still need to figure out the exact wave counts to see if we can get really, truly 5 waves up, preferably as an impulse, alternatively as an overlapping leading diagonal. And from there, we'll then have a great retrace as a buying opportunity. With that, I'll see you all on Monday. Take care, trade safe, and have a great weekend.